Hello, my name is Rafael Jose. In this presentation, I will talk about my project, which is about parking violation notice. So essentially, most universities in the world, they hire enforcement officers to make sure that people comply with the parking rules and regulations. Students, faculty members, and even staff of universities, they all must have some sort of a valid parking permit in order for them to park in on campus. And all of those drivers who do not comply to the regulations, they basically receive a parking ticket and they get fined by the university department. So the purpose of the present project is to design and implement a GIS system to essentially help in parking violation ticketing. And this project basically has two parts, which is the first one is Survey 123. We shall create a smart form for reporting this violation and to store results in a halted feature. And the other component is the dashboards, which is just a web app for essentially visualizing the data. So the first stage was to design the form using Survey 123 Web Designer. So the reason why I chose Web Designer to begin my design for my form is because the Web Designer is much easier because it allows you to simply just drag and drop widget. So for the first part to design my form, I simply just use Web Designer. And I created a couple fields and a couple questions. For example, asking the vehicle model, which is a select one questions or a single choice type of question. I'm also asking for the color, for the license plate. I'm asking for the driver name, if known. I'm asking also for the officer to take photos of the violation and then enter his name, his email, and his batch number. So this is the first stage. This is the first part of designing my smart form. So this is just about dragging and drop widget, changing some configurations such as whether the field is required or not, and so on. The second part of my design includes taking this survey that was pre-designed in Web Designer. So what I did is I downloaded that survey on my local machine so that I could then edit or further improve this survey by using then the Survey 123 Connect functionalities. So once the survey was downloaded and I could open it on Connect in my local machine, I was able to further enhance my form by making some changes on my Excel spreadsheet, as you can see on the screen. So Connect used the Microsoft XLS format, and that's the format that I followed. So the reason why I wanted to use Connect is because I wanted to explore some of the more robust functionality or advanced functionality that the software offers. One of them being the watermarking capabilities, and the other one being the repeats functionality. So I use I use Connect to apply text watermarks to the photos that was to being taken with this Survey 123 field app. So the watermark parameter essentially it's entered on the ASRI binding field, and what you do is you just specify where you want your watermark to be placed, right? And there are some parameters that you can enter. For example, you can specify that you want your watermarks to be placed on the top left corner or the top right corner, or the bottom center corner, and so on. But in my case, I use two parameters to place my watermarks. The first one being the bottom left watermarks, and I use that to display the watermarks on the bottom left corner. So on the bottom left corner of every pictures that is taken with this survey app, it will place the latitude and longitude of that survey location at the bottom left corner, and also including the date and time that the survey was carried on. And on the bottom right corner, I have vehicle information or overall information about the parking violation. And that information includes things like the vehicle model, license plate, and how much the driver is going to be charged for this parking violation. And in order to obtain the violation fine, or how much it will cost, or how much the driver will be charged for this specific parking violation, I had to use a Survey 123 Connect function called pull data, which essentially goes and look in the media folder for this specific project and tries to find a data a data table with the name violation types, and I say that I want the field code label as long as the name matches whatever the reason I selected in my survey form. So this function just pull the data and bring it here, and I assign the return of those pull data functions to my bottom right watermark. So making making a long story short, what I end up having in the end is my coordinates and dates on the bottom left corner, and I have all other parking violation information displayed on the bottom right corner. So in this slide, I have some photos that I took once my survey was complete. And as you can see on the screen, I have photos of cars, right? And these are just for demonstration purpose. And these photos were taken like here in my apartment just to have some data on my feature layer, just so I could have some visualization for this demonstration. And as you can see on these photos that were taken using the Field app, I was able to display the latitude and longitude for each survey point, right? And I was also able to display some other relevant information, such as vehicle model, such as license plate, such as violation type, and even estimated fee. And this is important to remember, that estimated fee is being retrieved from another table using the pull data function. So that's pretty cool functionality. And this latitude and longitude that I'm displaying on these photos, they actually can be reverse geocoded, and instead of displaying latitude and longitude, you could actually display an address, for example. So there is more stuff that can be done with this watermarking stuff, and these are pretty cool functionality, because this can be very helpful and useful when you want to retrieve information and you are offline. So yeah, this is the result that I got from taking the photos using the survey form that I developed, and have to use the watermarking functionality that the Connect offers. So after creating the survey form, publish it, which essentially creates a hosted feature layer, and then creating a map from that feature layer, I was able to create a dashboard that allows to visualize data as it comes in, right? So as parking violations are being inspected throughout the area, the campus, or whatever the premises might be, as data is being collected and more parking violations are being submitted, we can visualize these results in a web app using dashboards, and that's the approach that I took. I was able to display my data in a variety of ways, in multiple different ways to display the data. And for example, we have on the top right corner, I'm displaying parking violation by categories, and we can see that the most frequent type of parking violation is prohibited area. Somehow, some way, drivers tend to park in prohibited area in my apartment. So this is just the application that I chose to display the data that I was collecting using my field app. And the application is interactive, and it allows user to essentially filter information by car model. For example, you could go there and filter and decide that you just want to see car that are for a specific model. So this project has the potential of assisting in understanding parking violation by allowing visualization of parking violation by categories and unpaid violation through an interactive dashboard. Performing statistical analysis as the size of the data increases is also possible. And carrying out queries such as filtering parking violation by license plate and vehicle number and vehicle model is also achievable in this type of environment. So thank you for listening to my presentation.